We are here at S3D's Milwaukee Hub, and in this video we are going to cover two topics. Number one is, what is it like for an organization or an organization like S3D to prepare their motion capture system? And number two, what is it like for an athlete to come into a facility and get some motion capture services done? And the last part will be also, how do we then visualize this data back to the athletes and back to the coaches? So I have John behind me to get started with our 3D motion capture calibration process. Here at S3D, we have a semi motion capture system. So I'm going to get started with calibrating this motion capture system, and I'm going to do that by opening up my cameras and setting my camera brightness to a darker setting. So John has a 3D calibration wand and L-frame out in the capture space, which you can see in the video on the bottom right. And this L-frame and wands, they have LED markers. So basically they light up when John turns them on. So I'm going to set my brightness of my cameras to a darker setting to more easily identify these markers in the videos. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to set my camera exposure time down further, and now you can see those videos got darker and I can more easily identify those LED markers. Once I do that, I can actually start acquiring video of John doing a calibration. I'm going to save these videos into a specific place that I will be able to find later. So that is what I'm doing now. Once I do that, I can start acquiring video. John, can you start waving your wand? So he's going to start waving that calibration wand around. He turned the LED markers for the L-frame off. The L-frame orientates 3D space, and we only need data from those markers in the first couple frames of video for this calibration. So John turned those off as soon as we got started. And now what John is doing is he's using that wand to paint the area where the athlete is going to be. So this is calibrating each camera and converting its 2D view into a 3D space. So John is going to do this for about 45 to 60 seconds. We're at 40 seconds already. Once we're done, we're going to stop this video, which I can go ahead and do now. John, you can stop waving. In Simi, what we do next is we save these videos into the SMP, or the Simi Motion Project, as 3D calibration video clips. I'm going to make sure I save my progress along the way. And then I can start processing that wand data that we were doing. And so Simi does this automatically with this tool within their software. And you can see it's automatically identified the markers of the L-frame and the wand. And so this will run for roughly 2 minutes. And so we're going to speed through this section, and I will meet you once I'm done. Now that that is completed, I can assign my markers. You can see that my wand was identified in these camera views, and I can export the data to use to calculate our 3D calibration. Save my progress along the way. We're missing one last thing. We need to identify where the L-frame is by identifying the markers of the L-frame. And so in the top right, you can see all the markers that I have available that I could identify. And you can see now L-frame short is highlighted, and in a camera view, which I'm at the top right camera view right now, I go near the marker, and then I can left click and hold, and in the bottom right, I can do a precision mode to more accurately define where this marker is in the 2D video. So I'm going to do this in 3 camera views because we require 3 2D points in order to calculate a 3D point. So all I need to do is identify this L-frame in 3 camera views. Once I do that, I can save this file, and then I can start calculating my 3D calibration within the SIMI software. That will take one moment. This calibration is now calculated and completed. I have an acceptable standard deviation. I can go ahead and save this file, and I can assign it as my default project, which I will use later when we capture video. I want to make sure that my cameras are turned back to a normal brightness. So I'm going to open my cameras. I also have 3 force plates out in the capture area. We're going to be using 2 of them. And we need to make sure that these force plates are zeroed, which means that they are calibrated for a 0 Newton, or there's 0 weight on the force plate. So I just changed those camera views back to normal brightness. I can open up my force plates. And I can do a measure offset and confirm that that measure offset worked. Both plates are reading at around 0 newtons. And now I'm completed and I'm ready for capture. So now I can bring my athlete into the space. There's a tool that S3D has built to help expedite or more efficiently use the SIMI software. There's this file where we can set different athletes and exercises to capture. And if I want to add an athlete, I would need to copy some code here in different areas and paste it and change the person's name. S3D has built a tool to make this much more efficient within SIMI. So I'm going to open that tool. I'm going to load my old athletes. I can see that I already have John in here, who's going to be my test subject for today. And I have some different exercises in here that I'm going to utilize as well. So I can click Done. And now I'm ready to capture. So now I can bring my athlete into the space. As soon as I get my cameras up and running here, we can get started. So I'm opening the SIMI acquisition software. And this play button is going to load my cameras and load my force plates so I can start acquiring data. John, the first exercise that we're going to do is a counter movement jump. So you can stand on the plates with your hands on your hips. When I say go, I want you to jump as high as you can. So I'll say go, and you go down and jump and land stable on the force plates and stand still again. So that's going to be the first exercise. Are you warmed up? Yep. All right, why don't you do one quick sprint over there to get warmed up a little bit better. All right, while he's doing that sprint, I'm going to take a background exercise. So I just captured a blank image of the background. This is optimal for SIMI software. And now John is warmed up and he's ready to go. John, you can stand on the force plates. Ready, jump. So as soon as he lands there, I'm going to click this exercise done button, which captures the video clip of the counter movement jump. I can take a look at this replay view here to see a replay of what I just captured. Let's do one more, John. Stand on the plates, hands on your hips, nice and still. Ready, jump. Good. All right, if we want to do another exercise, we can just go ahead and keep capturing these exercises. All these files are being saved on our computer in our files, which we can process later. Let's do one more, John. Let's do a squat jump. You stand on the plates, squat down so your hips and knees are at 90 degrees. Stay still. When I say jump, jump straight into the air. Ready, jump. Good. All right, so we've captured 3 jumps from John. This is all we need from John. So John could go home. He could go do his exercises out in the weight room. He could go do, hitting drills or pitching drills. Whatever sport he plays, he can go back to doing that. So the time that we need for the athlete is actually very small. We've been acquiring video for 2 minutes, and we already have 3 data captures to process. So I'm going to stop my data capture back to the organization, to what S3D needs to do. So I am turning off my cameras and force plates. My data is already acquired onto my computer, which I can find in my files for today's date. And here's the background exercise and the 3 jumps that we captured of John. S3D has customized a automatic tracking solution that we've done with Simi. I can open this software and I can choose the files that I would like to process. And I can search for those by looking for today's date in my files. And here's the 3 exercises that we would like to process. And I can just go ahead and click Start. And so now this tool is automatically looping through all of those captures that we completed, and it's going to utilize the Simi software to process those videos and come up with the 3D kinematic data. This takes roughly 6 minutes per trial. So we'll let this run, and then we'll come back at the end. We'll take a look at how long that took to complete, and then we'll take a look at how what to do next, how to get this data into a platform to visualize. So we will be back. It looks like we have 1 jump completed tracking as a counter movement jump. It took roughly 6 minutes to complete the tracking for that movement. Since I have one ready, I can go ahead and start uploading that trial. S3D has a trial uploader that is deployed to each facility's motion capture computer. We can run this application. And it is hidden by a login. So we need to log in using our credentials. So if I'm an organization that has purchased the S3D dashboard, my coaches have login credentials to the dashboard, and those login credentials also work for the uploader tool. So I can go ahead and put in my email and my password. I can now choose to browse where the files are that I'd like to upload. I can go to today's capture session and choose that folder. And one of my motion capture trials has finished processing, so that one is available for upload. The remaining 2 will not be available until the tracking process is completed. So if I select this trial to upload, I can select multiple, but I'm going to select just the one that is ready. I can assign some tags to this as well. So this was done in the Milwaukee Hub, so I'm going to say Milwaukee Hub. John is a track and field athlete, so I'm going to say track field as another tag. I can give whatever tags I want to this trial or to this person. And now I need to assign the name John or the athlete John to the user John in the S3D dashboard. So I can go ahead and find his name in the dropdown. Here we have John K. And once I do that, I can click upload. So here you can see the process of that upload happening. It has uploaded the data, and now it's uploading the videos. To go to my dashboard account, I can go to dashboard.s3dinc.com. It will first prompt me to sign in. I can sign in with my own username and password. Once I sign in, the first thing that I'm prompted with is the organization leaderboard. So here I can see all the athletes that have data uploaded within my organization. In this case, this is the S3D demo organization. To see my individual trials, that I can view as a coach user. I'll be able to see all athletes within my organization. And here I can see is my counter movement jump from February 20th. This is the one that we just uploaded. So I can go ahead and view that trial. I can view the videos that we uploaded of John during this movement. I can go to other video clips. I can see my data, and I can see key time points and phases throughout this counter movement jump. You can see John's body weight, his jump height. MRSI is an explosive measure. And I can dive much further, deeper into this exercise to analyze different metrics that John had presented during this counter movement jump. I can also leave notes. So if John is an athlete user and he signs in to the dashboard, he will see only his trials in the trials and reports page, and he will also see his coach, Alec, giving him a message. I can also do a quick summary to see how John has been changing over time in terms of his jump height and his progress as an athlete. Here I'm actually plotting Alec Miller. So now we can see how my data has changed over time. I can choose to move over to John user, or if I want to do this more directly, what I can do is go back to trials and reports. And I can choose John within this section, and that will push me straight to his summary page. I want to look at only counter movement jump and jump height, so that will populate my graph and I can see his progress over this time. So that is how we can view data, and that is what the athlete experience is going to be. As soon as I uploaded data on John, he received an invite mail in his inbox where he can click that mail and he can set his password and he can sign in using his email and password to view his data. So that is the S3D experience. That is what it is like for an athlete to come into this space. It takes very minimal time to capture data on an athlete and to get that data into a visualization platform like S3D Dashboard. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in our Milwaukee hub soon.